When the government breaks your leg, you're not supposed to be happy when they hand you a crutch. My name's Eric. This is above my pay grade. Let's get into it. So this week, the Senate is supposed to vote on another $40 billion for restaurants and small businesses, another government package to prop up business. Now, the breaking the leg part, I always tell people it wasn't COVID that caused businesses to shutter. It was the government's response to COVID. And so, in some ways, people are due some of this money because it shut down small businesses. And you guys saw the kind of businesses that made more money than ever, the big ones. And small businesses were left in the dust. But here's something I might assert. A lot of these small businesses, and if you look at the PPP loans and the corruption that went on with the trillions of dollars that had to go out quickly, billions of those trillions of dollars were just gone, wasted. And this $40 billion package for restaurants, I want you to think about in an era of inflation, what is going to happen to the restaurant industry? What happens to restaurants during inflation, and what happens to restaurants during a recession? Tons of mom and pop restaurants unfortunately close because people tighten their discretionary spending. So what's going to happen is they're going to want to send out this $40 billion, and maybe it'll keep the restaurant afloat for a couple more months or a year, but they will eventually, if they're having trouble now, they're going to have more trouble in the future. So essentially, although the government caused this, I don't think this $40 billion is going to help. All it's going to do is prolong the bleeding. And I don't think many of these restaurants will stay open. But as this economic snowball gets bigger, as the recession gets deeper, and industries that operate on tiny little margins are suffering. I saw yesterday Walmart had its worst day since 1987 on the stock market. They had their worst day. And for a company like Walmart to go down 11-12% in a day says a lot, because they run a very tight ship, very predictable ship, and logistically they're having a hard time because of inflation and supply chains. So how do you think small businesses are going to survive if Walmart's having a hard time? Same thing with Target. Target had lost over 20% of its market share today, or market value. And I think this is only the beginning. But every time there's an issue with the economy, the government's solution is printing more money. And in a way, although inflation is painful, it kind of keeps them in check because they know that printing more money and handing it out is going to cause more inflation. But I don't think they're going to stop. I think they're going to continue to try to solve problems by just pouring more money into the system. And we need to be prepared for that. As much as you think politicians want to help, which you may be right, they might want to help, but they don't have a lot of levers when it comes to the supply side. All they have is the demand side lever, which is pouring more money into the system. So if they can't do anything, voters don't want to hear that. Voters don't want to hear the truth, which is somebody coming up to the mic and saying, hey, look, this is a storm we're going to have to weather because all we can do is make it worse. But if you understand politicians, you understand their desire to be reelected, they will take long-term pain over short-term pain because they don't want to explain to the voters that they can't do anything. So they got to look. They got to look like they're doing something. Even if it makes the problem worse, they'll do it, just so they have the appearance of doing something. The economic pain will try to be solved, but like I said, I think they're going to make it much worse by these packages. And a sign of the end of the dollar is when either they manufacture a crisis or they come out with, well, COVID 2.0, we got to give people stimmy checks, and that will blow the roof off inflation, unfortunately. But show me where the hope is, where politicians are actually thinking clearly and understanding the consequences of their actions, because I don't see the evidence of that right now. And so I just see more spending, more and more spending. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. If you could hit that like button for me, share this with friends and family, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.